Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Magic with Zuby. My name is Zuby, and if you're brand new to this show is no longer about Magic the Gathering. So I'm sort of back, everybody. So if you've been following me on social media, or if you've been a fan or longtime listener, welcome. Or if you're a new listener, welcome. So this show is going to be about RPGs going further. I'm still keeping the name Magic with Zuby because magic, it's not about Magic the Gathering, but RPGs do contain magic. So, it'll work. It'll work. Don't worry. So I'm sort of back, everybody. So I want to go over a little bit of what's been going on and what I plan on doing with this podcast and content creation going forward. So what happened last summer, at the end of June, I went and attended Command Fest Philly. It was great meeting people, getting to play a lot of Magic and all that. But it made me realize that being a Magic content creator is not for me anymore. The bar for being a Magic content creator has changed dramatically since I first started. And it was just not a space I wanted to be a part of or anything like that. I was just done. So, what also didn't help was I have not been liking the direction that WotC has been taking Magic the past couple years. I mean, a good example is, I've said this before on stream and other people, that when Zendikar Rising came out, there was a set about 2, maybe 3 years ago now, I could no longer keep up, because it used to be a set would come out, and I would pretty much know every single card in it, like after studying it and doing it. And then it just got to a point where I'm just, with the amount of product being released, I couldn't keep up with it any longer. And that just kind of, it started making me enjoy the game less and less. And just the 2022 was just it for me. It was like the breaking point of me not caring about the game anymore. The game itself is still great to play. That's not the issue. It's what Hasbro and WotC are doing to the game that is going to be really detrimental in the years to come, I feel, even though it's making money hand over fist. So who cares? Maybe I'm completely wrong, and we're not in the junk wax era of Magic. Who knows? I don't know. But I've sold off the last remaining of my collection, and all I have left are a couple Pauper decks, some 6 EDH decks, and my D&D cube. I still play Magic Arena every once in a while when I get the urge, but not nearly as much as I used to. So when I took the break back in August, some life events happened, and I've been working on myself a lot. So yeah, I know I disappeared, and it was much needed. I needed to do that, and so I've been working on myself a lot the past few months, and there's always been a part of me that has always wanted to create RPG content. Those who know me personally know I love playing D&D and RPG video games. Final Fantasy is one of my favorite series. Skyrim, Fallout is another, because I love the Bethesda games. So, and I've been playing D&D since I was a kid. So, and everybody who knows me personally knows I love RPGs like that. And the longtime listeners of this podcast know that I tried to do a spin-off called RPG Companion and had some success with that. But doing both at the same time, Magic and D&D, was really hard to do, because the Magic content was taking off and it was getting way more popularity than the amount of time I had to focus on just one episode of RPG Companion was a lot, with very little return at the time. So I'm just starting off 2023 doing RPG content, and here we are. And funny story. So no lie, I kid you not, that it was the day before the OGL debacle happened, and I'll go over what the OGL is in a second, because you can Google it, and there's articles and videos out there that can explain it way better than I can, but I'll give a general gist of what it is in a second. And I was looking at this adventure module I had already play tested with people in my old Discord. I had like about 4 or 5 players in it, and we'd already play tested it to completion. I'd already written out a good rough draft of it, and I was looking over like everything I wrote, and then I started reading up on the OGL and just making sure that everything was on the up and up with, you know, what I wanted to do. Because I was gonna like, all right, I'm gonna polish it, maybe do a quick another play test to make sure it's all balanced, and then not even the next day, that news article from Gizmodo from Linda Codega dropped, and I just immediately ceased all production. Was like, what the fuck? So if you're not familiar with the OGL is, the OGL stands for Open Gaming License, and basically it's a license. It's sort of like the what is it? What Linux uses, the GPL. You know, basically like open software development. That's sort of like the version of open software, but for D&D and RPGs. So basically the OGL stated that you can make your own content in D&D, but you can't use copyrighted IP, which is, you know, you can't put beholders in your content, you can't use specific names from D&D, etc., but you can pretty much make your own adventures and also your own kind of systems and content and stuff like that. And so many companies have used that for years and years, because if I recall correctly, the OGL originally came out in the late 90s, I want to say, like during the whole D&D 3rd edition or 3.5. I'm not a huge historic scholar for this. Like I said, Google, there's better videos about it than what I can say or mention. But yeah, so essentially this whole OGL debacle happened, that WotC wants to basically revoke the current OGL and make this crazy monetized version of the OGL with royalty payments, and you have to submit all your work for approval. And I was just like, whoa, okay, fuck this nonsense. And it just really, really disheartened me. And then I just kept an eye on the whole drama with it, from D&D Shorts, from the Rules Lawyer, from Linda Codega, Paizo. And if you're not familiar with who Paizo is the publishing company of Pathfinder. And so before WotC even had a response to all the negativity that's come out, Paizo came out and just said, yo, listen up. We're going to work on our own version of the OGL called the ORC. All right, the Open RPG Creative License, which fucking badass name. I mean, how can it not be an awesome name? Like, yeah, fuck the OGL. I'm with the ORC now. All right. And my favorite meme was, the time of the OGL is over. The time of the ORC has begun. So I love it. I love it. And so I've already played Pathfinder 2nd edition before. I have maybe... At the time of this recording, I've had about 10 play sessions already under my belt, and I love it. I love the system. It is more complicated than D&D. Well, not more complicated. It appears more daunting than D&D, but I love it because as a DM, or GM, I should start saying, is it has so many rules for almost everything the players want to do. And, you know, for people who like to play fast and loose with the rules, maybe Pathfinder isn't your thing. But for someone like me who has DM'd D&D for so long, and too many times I've come across in 5th edition where there's not a clear-cut interpretation of the rules of something a player wants to do, it's very frustrating because... you know, you have to Google, all right, this player wants to perform an acrobatic flip off a giant tarantula and land in a vat of acid. What happens? You know, I mean, that's a really wild example. But, you know, it would be having to Google what would happen and, you know, see a Jeremy Crawford tweet on, oh, well, it's actually interpreted this way. And that's sort of the written law of how it should be ruled in D&D. Whereas Pathfinder, so far, I'm not saying there's going to become a situation that isn't in the rule book, but so far everything I've come across as a GM or player has been in the rule book in some shape or fashion where it makes sense. And it's been so far, I've been having tons of fun with the game as a player and GM. And so I'm converting my adventure module I wrote to Pathfinder 2e, and I've already got a rough draft completed and just working on making some maps and working on the playtest sessions and trying to schedule that. So I'm super excited about it. I've got, I have to brag a little bit here. All right, so I've got my rough draft of my module going, and I've already got some editors, working on the edits for it. I never thought in the year of our Lord 2023 I'd be like, yeah, I'm just waiting on my editors to get back with me. I'm talking a lot of shit here. It's just some friends that are helping me edit the module, but hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for like all the help I can get, and the play testing that we're gonna do. I'm all for it. I want that. I want that feedback because I'm not the best writer. I know that. I'm pretty decent at storytelling. I'm pretty decent at like creating situations and scenarios and worlds, but my writing leaves a lot to be desired. I know. But hey, that's what editors are for, to help you, appear more better. Because, there's my English right there. I'm awesome. I'm great. So yeah, that's a quick rundown of everything that is going on. So I've got some goals already set aside for 2023 as this new era of content creation is going on. My goal is, I don't care how long it takes, I want to get this module published, electronic first, PDF. And I've already had talks about looking at print version of this, and I sort of got a little scared. I'm like, well, I have no idea what even the process and procedure for getting a printed module done, but I know I can definitely handle getting it electronically printed out there, like in Drive-Thru RPG or something like that. So yeah, I'm not worried about that, but if printed, maybe that's down the road or something like that. Who knows? The other thing is I really want to attend Gen Con this year. I'm trying to talk to the wife to going with me and possibly bring my daughter with me as well too, because I need to try to get her into more RPGs, and then also just play more RPGs. I mean, with this whole OGL and D&D debacle that's going on, I'm pretty much done with WotC as a whole, with D&D as a whole. And it sucks to say that, right? Because as much of the problems I have with 5th edition and its writing, it's still a fun game. Kobold Press, who have done a lot of the lot of books out there, especially my favorite, the bestiaries of Tomb of Beast and Creature Codex. I've got both those books behind me, and I love those books. And they've mentioned that they're coming out with their own system called Project Black Flag, and that they have a current Kickstarter called Deep Magic 2 that's going to be forward compatible with Project Black Flag. The thing is that Deep Magic 2 is written for 5th edition compatibility. So that's kind of telling me, my gears were turning, like, oh, if this is forward compatible, does this mean Project Black Flag is going to be a sort of D&D 5.5? And if it is, dude, I'm all down for that. I cannot wait. I've already signed up to be a playtester for Project Black Flag. I want to dive in, play through it, because as much as I'm loving Pathfinder 2e, I still have a soft spot in my heart for the system of 5th edition, because it's, it's reignited my love for D&D and RPGs in general. And so yeah, if Project Black Flag turns out to be what I think it is, and hell, if it's even better than 5th edition, I'm going all in on that too. The other RPGs I definitely want to play this year is Call of Cthulhu and Star Trek. I've never played either of those, but I have the rule books for them, read them, and they look so much fun. And just other stuff too that's out there that I've never really dived into. So yeah, those are really my goals. Definitely going to get a module published one way or another. I don't care if it happens on December 31st of 2023. I'm getting it done. I'm just happy with the progress that I've made, that now I'm in the editing and playtesting mode, and now I got to work on getting art and maps done, which That's really the fun part for me. So yeah, as far as this podcast goes, this is not going to be a regular release cadence at all, like I had where I did it every week for it, because I've already realized, because I've pretty much been taking at least 1 day a week to focus on the module this past month, and that takes a lot of energy and effort. Like, holy crap, it's been a long time since I've done something this involved, compared to just doing a podcast and trying to set up interviews and stuff and live stream. But so, as I was saying, the release cadence for this is going to be very irregular. It's not going to be every week. It's going to be kind of whenever I feel like it, to be honest. And I might do some interviews with RPG designers and writers, and that's going to be under the guise of, because hell, yeah, I'm going to interview you about some cool stuff, but I also kind of want to learn from you too, so I can take that knowledge back and be like, yo, maybe I can apply this to what I'm doing too, because I'm just a baby. I'm a baby in this sphere, right? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But hey, I'm happy to learn. I cannot wait. You know, I've already got other modules that I have ideas for that I want to flesh out some, and I can't wait to explore this some more. And you know, I might live stream some of this stuff too. Who knows? I'm not going away from Twitch for good, but as far as like playing Magic on Twitch on my channel, nah, I might use it for RPG stuff. Who the hell knows? So, you know, I was talking with a good friend of mine, and he told me, you know, I was telling him that, hey, I'm getting back into the content creator sphere, doing RPGs. And he said, man, once a content creator, always a content creator. And it's true, because I love creating stuff for people to enjoy. I can't wait to get this published and done. It's going to be exciting. And I'm happy to be pursuing something that I've been wanting to do since I was a little kid. Like, my dream has always been to be an author. You know, not necessarily an author of a book or a novel or anything like that, but getting this published and being an author of, you know, even an author of an adventure module, it's always been a dream of mine. So I can't wait to see where it takes me. And if you're all down for the ride, awesome. If not, sorry. If you just wanted more Magic content, this is going to be for RPGs now. And that's about it. So thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a great day.